In this video, we're going to look back at the Clippers' amazing comeback in Game 1 of the 2012 first round. A lot of great comebacks in sports don't really begin on the offensive end, they begin on the defensive end. The Clippers are down by 24 and Memphis has the ball. This game's over. Chris fights hard over the screen and tries to blow it up, and he ends up getting a piece of the ball, and he scrambles with Mike Conley for the ball near the sideline. This is where the Clippers begin their comeback. Scrappy, hard-nosed defense. As it freezes here, we actually see Mike Conley steps out of bounds, and now the Clippers get an offensive possession to actually begin their comeback. This is their first offensive possession in the comeback, and Blake Griffin sets a screen for Chris Paul up top. It washes out Mike Conley a little bit, allows Chris to get downhill to the rim, and as he does so, watch how Reggie Evans turns Zach Randolph away and ends up making sure that there's no one between himself and the rim, so that when Chris funnels this bounce pass right to Reggie Evans, there's no one there to stop Reggie from scoring. As Reggie gathers and goes up, we can actually see where Zach Randolph fouls Reggie Evans on the arm, and the Clippers have their first bucket in this comeback. Reggie Evans is at the line, not a good free throw shooter. He's about to shoot it. Blake is a little bit boxed out by Zach Randolph, who's a tremendous rebounder himself. However, Blake's going to swim right, and in doing so, all he wants to do is get level to Zach Randolph for a chance to get the rebound. Randolph and Blake hand fight a little bit, and it's a 50-50 chance here. The way that the ball comes off the rim because of the poor free throw, Blake is the first one to get to it, and with his athleticism, he jumps and slams it home to bring the deficit to 20. Defense was arguably more important than offense during this comeback, because if Memphis had been able to score anywhere near a reasonable clip, it would have, kind of halted the Clippers' comeback. Reggie Evans fronts Zach Randolph in the post, denies him easy position. The ball goes to Dante Cunningham, who's going to, fake this little pass over the top, but Reggie's still there, ball denying, in perfect position to deny Zach Randolph getting the ball. So when Dante Cunningham is looking for other options to pass to, Chris Paul ball denies on the perimeter. So now Cunningham has to make a decision, and he drives a little bit to his right, and he funnels it off to Zach Randolph. Well, Randolph has the ball, and he's working against Reggie Evans, who's another big, strong dude, and he's able to hold his ground against Zach Randolph, which is a key thing. So when they're just bumping into each other. Randolph tries to face up against Reggie Evans, and in doing so, Reggie slaps the ball off of Randolph for a turnover. Reggie Evans comes to set a screen against Mike Conley, and Marc Gasol is going to be sucked up because he's trying to hedge against Chris to force him wider, but Chris does a masterful thing. He splits right through them, and he's going to get an easy layup to cut this under 20 points with still 7:20 to go. This is another defensive possession for the Clippers, and you start to look at the things that they did in order to deter Memphis from getting easy baskets. The ball gets to Marc Gasol at the elbow. Reggie Evans and Zach Randolph are just two Brahma Bulls going at it for position. Reggie is not giving up an inch, and look at how far Reggie Evans has pushed Zach Randolph out of position by the time Randolph gets the ball on the catch, and there's only 9 to go on the shot clock. So when Randolph faces, Randolph's going to try to use his little speed and first step quickness, but he can't because Nick Young digs down to help. And by doing this, it forces Zach Randolph to pass. Well, it's a bad pass, and Nick Young actually gets a fingertip on it to kind of deflect it a little bit. However, Memphis regathers, gets it back to Zach Randolph, and by the time Randolph goes into this shot, it's going to be contested and a little off balance because Randolph can't move Reggie Evans. He's a brick wall. It's a wild shot, and it's a miss and another stop for the Clippers. Side out of bounds for the Clippers. Video's a little blotchy, I apologize for that. Ball gets into Blake Griffin. Chris Paul gets the ball just outside the elbow. Blake's going to run up and set a screen, and he makes good contact on the screen. This screen allows Chris Paul to get to the right elbow, which is a Chris Paul sweet spot. Well, Rudy Gay knows this, so he's going to help over and stunt to try to force Chris Paul to pass. Chris does. It's a wide open 3 for Nick Young. It's not going to go down, but look at Eric Bledsoe. Eric Bledsoe and Blake Griffin both fight like hell on the offensive glass to get this rebound, and it goes to the smaller Eric Bledsoe, who sneaks out the backside, and when he goes up for his jumper, there's no one there on Memphis to deter this shot, and he makes it, and with 6.5 to go, the deficit's 16. Next defensive possession for the Clippers. Mike Conley has the ball up top against Chris Paul. Blake Griffin and Reggie Evans switch, which allows Reggie Evans to hedge very hard on the perimeter on this pick and roll with Conley and Gasol. This forces Conley wide. But notice why this is able to happen is because Nick Young digs down and tags the roll man, which is Gasol, and allows Reggie Evans to get all the way back. So when Rudy Gay gets the ball on the wing, Nick Young's already there, already back contesting in good position. Zach Randolph sets a screen. They switch on the perimeter. Blake Griffin now on Rudy Gay. And at this point in his career, Blake Griffin was a solid perimeter defender. So he stays with Rudy Gay, doesn't get beat, and then gives a really nice contest on this Rudy Gay pull-up late in the shot clock. And it's another miss that the Clippers force. Ensuing offensive possession for the Clippers. Chris Paul's bringing it up. He wants to get it to Blake Griffin deep in the seal in the low post, but he can't, so it goes to Nick Young, and then Blake posts up against Marc Gasol, and he gets the ball. This isn't exactly a matchup the Clippers can exploit. Like, you got to remember, the year after this, Marc Gasol wins Defensive Player of the Year. So Blake faces up, and he looks like he's able to, get solid position against Marc Gasol. So Memphis collapses, but watch Eric Bledsoe on the weak side. He's going to dart through. And as Chris gets the ball and gets past Tony Allen, who gave a really poor job jumping out on the perimeter, as Chris gets downhill, Eric Bledsoe's wide open in the corner. No one's near him. They lost complete track of him. It's a wide open three. He's going to nail it, and now it's a 13-point deficit. One of the things that gets lost to time is just how good Blake Griffin was, especially in the post, even at a young age. Like, everyone just thinks he was this raw athlete, but he had a lot of skill, especially down low. He gets the ball in the post here. He's working against Mo Spates, so it's not one-on-one against Zach Randolph. It's against the guy he can move, and he's a little bit shiftier then. He faces up against Spates, hard plants with his right, and goes downhill towards the left in the middle of the paint. Rudy Gay comes down to help. Blake acts like he's going to turn left, then goes right. And by doing this, he gets both defenders to jump with a ball fake. And Blake's going to go up and under and lay it in, and the Clippers are within 12. Side out of bounds, Clippers bring the ball up. Down 12, 3 minutes to go. They went about 2 minutes without scoring, but didn't lose ground. This is a hammer play. It's designed to get the guy freed up in the corner on the weak side. Reggie Evans screens for Chris Paul. Chris is going to go baseline because Marc Gasol does not want Chris to go middle, so Chris goes baseline. Now watch Blake Griffin here. He's screening Rudy Gay, which is Nick Young's man, which is going to free up Nick Young in the corner. The Clippers during the Lob City days ran this a lot for J.J. Redick and even Matt Barnes. This play gets Nick Young open, great look from 3, knocks it down. Ensuing possession, Chris Paul grabs the rebound, goes right up the floor. This is a problem for Memphis. Seemingly, it's Chris Paul against 4 Memphis defenders, but Memphis doesn't have a prayer here because Chris knows Marc Gasol wants to run to the paint to protect the rim. Mike Conley has to help against the ball because no one's stopping it. So when Chris goes to pass and bumps into Conley, it throws Conley off, and he can't get out to contest Nick Young's shot. Another 3. Lead is down to 6. Memphis has the ball, up 6, 2 minutes to go. They're feeling the pressure. This is one of those possessions where Memphis, I think, understood if we don't score, we're kind of screwed. So Mike Conley gets a screen from Marc Gasol, but what's going to end up happening is Reggie Evans is going to jump out. He wants Conley to go wide. However, Conley doesn't go as wide as the Clippers want, and instead he gets downhill, but Chris gets back level with him, and Conley bumps into him. Chris tries to flop and draw an offensive foul. Blake contests the Conley layup. Clippers then get the ball. Reggie Evans rebound, kicks to Chris Paul. Chris already is looking up. He knows what he is going to do. Memphis is at a numbers disadvantage. Chris races into the front court. Rudy Gay is pointing at the other defender to get Blake Griffin rolling to the rim, but Gay has to stop the ball and leaves Nick Young open. Nick Young catches. Rudy Gay can't get out in time to contest. Nick Young buries his third 3 in 1 minute. Memphis is up 3. There's 100 seconds to go. Mike Conley has the ball. It goes to Marc Gasol on the wing. He wants to insert to Zach Randolph in the post, but Reggie Evans is right there. So when Gasol brings the ball low, Blake Griffin actually swipes it away. And as the ball goes towards the baseline, Eric Bledsoe hustles his tail off. He dives on the floor to save this ball before it goes out of bounds. It's going to trickle back in front of Blake Griffin. He grabs the ball, and Marc Gasol fouls him to stop a fast break opportunity. Blake makes both free throws. Clippers are only down by 1. Next defensive possession. Minute and a half to go. Clippers down by 1. They need a stop. Marc Gasol gets the ball on the wing. They want this ball to go to Zach Randolph so much, but look at Reggie Evans fronting in the post, wedging him away, forcing Zach Randolph further away. Look how far Zach Randolph is when he gets this ball. Reggie Evans completely was physical and dominating him. When Randolph actually decides to go, he cannot move against Reggie Evans. Reggie Evans' core strength is the stuff of legends. He holds up against Zach Randolph so well here that when Zach turns and goes up for this awkward turnaround baseline fadeaway, Reggie Evans is right there to contest the hell out of this and force a miss. But the job isn't done. Tony Allen wedges his way in, and he's able to get the offensive rebound, but the Clippers are lucky and he misses it and gives them life. Chris Paul has the ball. 1 minute to go. Reggie Evans comes up to set a screen, but Chris is actually going to point at him. He doesn't want the screen on the right side. He wants Reggie to go out and then come back and set the screen on the left side of Tony Allen. Now this is where they get Memphis into trouble. Chris screens against Tony Allen, and Tony expects Chris to go left, but Chris weasels his way, crosses back to the right. Now Chris is downhill against Marc Gasol. Marc has to step up. Right here as we freeze it, this looks like a Chris Paul jump shot. It's not. It's a pass to Reggie Evans, who lays it up and in, and the Clippers have their first lead of the night. One more defensive stop is all the Clippers need, and it's 34-year-old Kenyon Martin matched up against Rudy Gay on the perimeter. Clock is at 5.4 seconds. Kenyon Martin is turned, giving up the drive to the right, but he recognizes he shouldn't do that. So he quickly plants and resets his feet because he knows Rudy Gay probably wants to get to the middle of the floor. So when Rudy Gay drives, Kenyon Martin does a great job of striding with choppy steps and keeping in front of Rudy Gay. When Rudy Gay plants to go up with a jumper from the elbow, Kenyon Martin is physical and he's right there. And when Gay goes to bring the ball up, Kenyon Martin actually gets a hand on it to try to swipe it away. Gay goes up for the shot. Kenyon Martin contests beautifully, and 34-year-old Kenyon Martin gets a stop, and the Clippers come back from down 24 with 8 minutes to go to win the game.